Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're opening up what you might call the engine room of mental progress. We're diving deep into Samma Vayama. That translates pretty directly, I think, as the right effort.
Yeah, and it's crucial to understand this isn't just, motivational poster stuff.
Mm.
Try harder.
Hmm.
In this context, right effort is really fundamental. It's the essential driving force. It's the focused energy needed.
The willpower.
Exactly, the willpower and the directed energy that pushes all the other parts of the Noble Eightfold Path forward
Mm.
towards genuine internal freedom.
Absolutely. But the problem I find is that effort is often just seen as, well, generic, like hustle culture or just gritting your teeth.
Right.
But the sources we're looking at today, they show the specific kind of effort is really structured, it's targeted, and intensely psychological.
It really is.
So our mission today is to break down these four specific types of mental effort, the daily work, really, that makes up Samma Vayama.
Think of it almost like a mental maintenance guide. It helps you, stop spinning your wheels and actually start making progress, systematically managing your mind.
Okay, let's jump right in then, the structure. You mentioned four efforts. Samma Vayama is defined by the Sammappadhana 4.
That's right.
They seem to cover both dealing with the bad stuff, the negatives, and also actively growing the good stuff. Could you walk us through those four step by step?
Sure. You can think of it as having both a defensive strategy and an offensive strategy for your mind. So the first effort is safeguarding. Sammappadhana, this is really crucial. It's the effort to prevent the unwholesome stuff. Let's call them defilements from now on. Things like greed, anger, delusion.
Okay.
To prevent those things that haven't yet arisen from actually popping up. It's like closing the door before the unwanted guest even rings the bell.
Got it. Step 1, prevention.
Step 2 is abandoning. Sammappadhana. Now, this is where you actively work to dispel or eliminate or just get rid of the defilements that have already shown up.
Right, so dealing with the mess that's already inside.
Exactly. Cleaning up what's already there. Then we flip to the positive side. The third effort is cultivating. Sammappadhana.
Okay.
This is the effort to cause goodness, wholesome states like mindfulness, kindness, patience, wisdom, things that haven't arisen yet, to actually arise.
Yeah.
You're consciously planting new, good seeds.
Planting the good stuff.
And finally, the fourth effort. This is maintaining. Anurakkhanapadhana. This is the effort to preserve and promote and strengthen the goodness that has already arisen.
So keeping the good stuff going.
Yeah, making sure it becomes firm, stable, habitual, not letting it wither away.
Okay, let's unpack this order for a second, because practically speaking, it kind of trips me up sometimes. If I'm struggling with something serious right now, like, say, a habit of really snapping at people or chronic procrastination, my first instinct is to throw everything at abandoning it. Get rid of this problem.
Right, makes sense.
But this framework says, no, you prioritize safeguarding first, preventing new bad things. Why does prevention come before tackling the fire that's already burning? That seems backwards.
That's a really core question. And the answer tells us a lot about how, according to these sources, the mind actually operates. It's basically about fighting upstream versus, well, constantly battling downstream.
Okay.
See, the issue is that defilements, these negative states, they just naturally, constantly tend to arise. In an ordinary mind, anyway.
It's the default.
Sort of, yeah.
Oh,
It's not random. It's because the mind has these underlying latent tendencies. They call them anusaya. They're just sitting there under the surface.
Waiting.
Yeah. And when you encounter some kind of stimulus, could be a sight, a sound, a feeling, maybe something someone says or does, that's phasa. Those latent seeds are primed, ready to sprout instantly.
So the mind's default setting is kind of leaky. If you do nothing, the negative stuff just flows in on its own.
That's a great way to put it, leaky. We can use a couple of analogies here.
Yeah.
First, evil is like weeds. They just sprout up readily, vigorously, the second you stop paying attention. But goodness is like beautiful flowers.
Needs work.
Needs persistent, consistent effort. You have to plant the seeds, water them, tend the soil. The natural momentum, you could say, is kind of on the side of the weeds.
Okay, that makes sense. And the second analogy?
A leaky vessel or the leaky boat. If
Yeah.
I spend all my energy just scooping water out of the boat.
That's the abandoning part.
Right. Scooping out the defilements. But I don't bother patching the hole in the hull.
The safeguarding part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fighting a losing battle, aren't I? I'll just be perpetually exhausted and the boat's still filling up.
You've got it. So, if we fail at step 1, safeguarding, We just can't realistically make progress on step 2, abandoning.
Pretty much. New defilements will just keep pouring in, maybe even faster than we could scoop them out. And that's why right effort has to start by setting up that guard post. That's Sammappadhana. Using continuous awareness, mindfulness, to stop the mind from just flowing away with reactions the instant something external hits it.
Right. This is where it gets really practical, though, because, well, we're human. We mess up the safeguarding part all the time.
Of course.
That flash of jealousy hits or that urge to just bite someone's head off. It happens. So when a defilement is actively arising right now, how do we actually use that second effort, the abandoning one? What's the role of mindfulness, sati, and maybe wisdom, paññāña, right then?
Okay, so the defilement has broken through the first line of defense. It's here. Now the practice shifts entirely. It becomes about how you observe it. And this is where we see the difference between, let's call it, the right way to know it versus the wrong way to know it.
Right way versus wrong way.
The effort, the real effort in that moment is in how you relate to that feeling. So the wrong way is basically identification. It's thinking, I am angry at this person, or I am so jealous.
Merging with it.
Exactly. You merge your sense of I with the feeling. And what does that do? It reinforces it. It fuels the story around it, the justifications, the plans for revenge, the self-pity.
And that just leads to more trouble, potential misconduct.
All right. Now, the right way, this uses samasati, right mindfulness. The goal is to become the impartial observer.
Just watch it.
Watch it, yes. But the effort involves 2 immediate actions, label and halt. You recognize it, you label it, this is anger arising, or, okay, that's craving, without letting the I claim ownership. No, my anger, just anger.
Okay, label it objectively and halt.
Halt the storyline. That simple act of labeling, of seeing it clearly without identifying, cuts the fuel supply. You stop the mental movie from playing the next scene.
Like hitting pause.
Exactly. You halt the mental the planning, the ruminating, the justifying.
Exactly.
Because all mental states are conditioned, they depend on fuel.
Yeah.
When you cut the fuel, the defilement just naturally dies down. It follows the laws of nature, Sammappadhana. That's the real effort in abandoning. It's immediately changing your relationship to the emotion the second you notice it.
That makes the shift much clearer. It's not about squashing the feeling down or pretending it's not there.
No, not suppression.
It's about denying it the oxygen of identification and further thought. Stepping back from, this is my anger, to just observing anger is occurring right now.
Precisely. You've got it. And the deepest level of this effort, eventually, is applying wisdom, vipassana.
How does that work here?
You stand impartially and you see that state, whether it's anger or even happiness or sadness, you see it as just a temporary, fleeting phenomenon.
Yeah.
It arises, it stays for a bit, it passes away. It's not solid, doesn't belong to me, and it won't last.
Seeing the 3 characteristics, impermanence.
Impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self. Recognizing that deeply, applying that wisdom, is like the final, most potent blow to the defilement's power over you.
Okay. That shift in perspective brings us nicely to the proactive side, the positive stuff. Effort number 3, Sammappadhana, cultivating goodness.
Right. Now, I think a lot of people, when they hear cultivation or pavana, they immediately think, okay, sitting on a cushion, meditation.
And that's part of it, for sure. But our sources really emphasize this as much broader. It's about training the mind in all sorts of contexts.
So not just formal meditation.
Far broader, yes. Cultivation means actively nurturing any kind of wholesome state in the mind. If safeguarding and abandoning are our defense, cultivating is the offense. It's deliberately installing positive, useful mental programs, if you like.
Okay, give me some examples outside of formal meditation.
Well, secular examples. Think about the effort involved in learning a difficult new skill with real patience, or dedicating yourself to finishing a challenging but worthwhile project instead of, constantly seeking easy distractions.
That focus and dedication, that's a wholesome state.
Absolutely. Or making the effort to help someone else without expecting anything back. That actively counters selfishness. That's cultivation.
So it's like building mental muscle memory for positive states. That's a good way to think about it. But let's definitely look at a powerful spiritual example too, like you mentioned, metta bhavana, loving kindness meditation. Why is that such a prime example of this cultivation effort?
Yeah, why that one specifically?
Well, because it directly targets one of the most destructive defilements, ill will, anger, aversion, tosa. And it systematically replaces it with its exact opposite, goodwill.
So it's a direct antidote.
A direct antidote. It's the active, you could say, muscular effort of generating genuine good thoughts, good feelings towards others, and towards yourself, too. And it's important to get the mechanism here. It's not just, mechanically reciting phrases like, may you be well, may you be happy.
Right, not just words.
The phrases are a tool, a focal point, a prakama.
Mm?
They're used to help concentrate the mind, yes, but the real effort is in generating a sincere feeling, a genuine sense of wishing well-being and happiness. The effort lies in sustaining that sincerity, that feeling.
And the power of making that effort, what does it do?
The power is that those two states, loving kindness, metta, and ill will, tosa, they're like oil and water. They're mutually exclusive.
Can't exist at the same time.
They cannot coexist in the exact same mind moment. So when your mind is intensely focused, making the effort to wish others well, genuinely, it naturally calms down. Ill will simply has no room to arise. It's automatically suppressed.
You're replacing darkness with light.
Through sheer, focused, intentional mental effort. That's cultivation in action.
Okay, so let's say we've done that. We've successfully cultivated some positive states, maybe some kindness, maybe some sustained focus from practice. That brings us to the final effort, which feels maybe a bit overlooked sometimes, and our Sammappadhana, maintaining that goodness.
Yes, maintaining.
If I'm finally feeling calm or focused or kind, why do I still need effort just to maintain it? Shouldn't I just, relax and enjoy the result? Doesn't it sustain itself?
That's a great question, and it points to maybe the highest level of effort required, especially in more advanced practice. The reason maintenance still requires effort goes right back to that concept we talked about earlier.
The anusaya, the latent stuff.
Exactly, those latent tendencies. Even when the mind is temporarily peaceful, calm, focused, those underlying defilements, they haven't been completely eradicated yet. They're just dormant, asleep.
Still there under the surface.
Still there. And on top of that, the world is constantly throwing stimuli at us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sights, sounds, interactions.
Right. Constant bombardment.
So if we stop applying the effort of maintenance, the effort of consciously reinforcing that goodness, protecting that concentration, regularly revisiting that kindness, tending to it, well, those latent tendencies will eventually reassert themselves. The weeds will creep back in.
So it's the effort of vigilance. Like, good habits are kind of fragile if you don't keep them up.
Precisely. Cultivating is planting the seed. Maintaining is like building the greenhouse around the seedling and remembering to water it every single day. It's the active preservation needed to make sure that the goodness becomes really deep-rooted, strong, and eventually, hopefully, unshakable. Without this fourth effort, the good states we've built up will just inevitably fade over time.
And then the cycle starts all over again. Back to abandoning the new weeds, cultivating again.
Exactly. You slip back down the hill.
Yeah.
Maintenance keeps you progressing upwards.
So, pulling this all together then, what does this whole framework mean? We've seen Samma Vayama, right effort, isn't some vague push or external struggle. It's highly structured. It's this ongoing effort of focused mind management, broken down into these 4 daily sequential tasks.
Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the goal of achieving genuine, lasting happiness and freedom from suffering, we have to stop seeing ourselves as just passive victims of our moods and mental states.
And become.
We need to start acting like a smart gardener, a really diligent one. This gardener understands they have to systematically perform all 4 efforts pretty much daily.
Okay, lay out the gardener's tasks.
All right. The smart gardener is constantly, 1, getting rid of the old weeds that have already sprouted. That's abandoning.
Pulling the weeds.
2, preventing new weed seeds from taking root by keeping the soil tended and being watchful. That's safeguarding.
Protecting the plot.
3, planting new beautiful flowers. Things like patience, wisdom, kindness. That's cultivating.
Sowing good seeds.
And 4, critically, nourishing and tending to the flowers that are already growing, making sure they get strong and flourish. That's maintaining.
Protecting the blooms. Wow, that really is the perfect metaphor, isn't it, for right effort?
It brings it all together.
It shows it's not a one-off thing, not a New Year's resolution. It's continuous training, moment by moment, essential for any real growth.
It demands perseverance, doesn't it? And constant awareness, moment by moment.
So, since this right effort is continuous training, not just theoretical, here's a final thought for you, the listener, to perhaps explore. Since your mind is always moving, always shifting, consider how you can apply just one of these 4 efforts, safeguarding, abandoning, cultivating, or maintaining, to the very next shift in your physical posture or your activity. When you transition, say, from sitting listening to this to standing up, or when you move from doing your work to taking a break, in that specific moment of transition, what is the right effort needed right then to protect or maybe advance your mental state? Just something to notice.